All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Bashim Kakodash. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Call her Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Bashim Kakodash. All right. Get started in a moment. You know, just cleaning off my glasses here. Just finished up work. You know, in Lord's will, this is a edifying lesson. You know, the name of this one is "When the Waters Get Choppy, will you retain your integrity?" All right. When the waters get choppy, will you retain your integrity? All right. In which, when the waters get choppy, scriptures talk about when the enemy shall come in like a flood. All right. Then shall we lift up a standard against them. All right. Um, when the waters get choppy, that means when things get rough. All right. When everything is not going your way. You know, and mainly what this video is ultimately going to be about is the persecution of the saints, the persecution of the church, which is coming forth in the near future. All right, it's on a small scale now when you have these different false prophets of different camps and individuals that think that they know the scriptures. You know, they make mockery of the men of the Lord. You know, they make these videos and they make these parodies, and you know, and they highlight the men of the Lord. When I say the men of the Lord, I'm talking about the men of Great Millstone. All right, starting with the apostles on down. You know, and try to shed a negative light on those men. All right, and then you know the different brothers that and elders that are around, you know, the globe, who are standing firm in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and then you have individuals who see that and don't like it and can't handle it, so therefore they bail. You know, they get out of dodge, if you will. They 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 lose their integrity. You know, in which the concept of integrity, the definition of integrity is means to be whole. All right, that's where you get the numbers. You have different numbers. You have integers. Right. Integrity means that you know what? Let me just go. I'm going to start off here in Job, the second chapter. All right, because we all know the story of Job, in which Satan made a deal with the Most High to try to take away Job's integrity, essentially. You know, to where the Most High allowed Satan to touch Job in every shape, form, and fashion, even taking his children away, taking away his land, taking away his money. All right, everything that he had, to see if he would bend, to see if he would fold. You know, to see if he would denounce the name of the Lord. All right, and when you go into the scriptures and you read the story, you see that Job, scriptures make mention. It says, verse 9, then said then said his wife unto him, doest thou retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High? And shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. So that's a part of retaining your integrity. You know, that's a part of basically holding on to your faith. All right, and not letting no one take your crown. All right, that's what it means to have integrity. Now, the definition, I want to go into the Hebrew, what the actual Hebrew word would be. Okay, let's look at the word retain first. Now, the word retain is actually Kazakh. All right, Kazakh. And you know, you got different brothers out there with the name Kazakh. All right, which means what? Strength, to strengthen, to prevail, harden, be strong. All right, and again, this is for the word retain. All right, in order for, you know what? And that makes me think of, you know, you have something called a retaining wall. All right, and building concepts. All right, a retaining wall. What does it do? it holds back whatever is looking to impede what you have set up. All right, whether it be water or whether it be weeds, it could be anything that you do not want to impede or penetrate what you have set up. So you set up a retaining wall. All right, and that retaining wall has to have a foundation. It has to have a strong foundation, or it will lean, it will fall, and you'll do all that work for no reason. All right. It says to become strong, to be firm, grow firm, be resolute, be sore. Yeah, man. All right. Let's see what that word resolute is. It says admirably purposeful, determined, and unwavering. All right, unwavering. You see, and that's the spirit because I named the video when the waters get choppy. All right, you see, in order for you to retain your integrity, you cannot be wavering. You can't let those waters and let those winds deter you from your faith. All right, so that's the word for retain. So then we have the word integrity in the Hebrew is Thama. Ooh, Thama. All right. Which the word Thama, this is the same word for when Jacob was a plain man. That word means to be what? Like I said before, to be whole, to be perfect. Because that's where you get the word Thamayim from. Thamayum. All right. So this word is Thama. All right. Which is integrity. Okay? See, Yahweh Bashim Shai is looking for perfection, and the only way that perfection will be obtained in this life is by us going through adversity and us having to deal with the choppy waters, us having to deal with the fire on one side, the deep water on another. All right? Going through that straight path, going through the straight gate, being challenged. And that's why I like the fact that that word Kazakh, it had one of the part of the definition was to be sore. All right? The beauty of a lion, all right, is scars. All right, just like you have the peacock and the feathers. You know, you have different animals who walk around with, particular attributes that show forth their beauty. To a lion, I'm talking about the male lion, the alpha. All right, is what his scars, which that reminds me of, okay, Yahweh Shai being what? The lion of the tribe of Judah. And what showed Yahweh Shai's integrity, what showed Yahweh Shai's, love was what? The scars that he bore for the children of Israel. Okay? Also, too, what it made me think of as well, or the spirit, right? That the scripture say, "When I'm weak, therefore I am strong." All right, because Yahweh Bashim Shai wants us to call upon His name, so we got to go through the adversity. Okay. Hmm, my bad. All right, but anyway, let's go back. All right, let me read this scripture right here. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Right? Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Verse 9. And the prosperity of a man's in the prosperity of a man enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. All right. But the real one that I wanted was Proverbs 17 and 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Right? Because that is the way you truly know someone. All right. And that's what the Most High is going to bring forth. The saints bring forth all of Israel, but the only ones that's going to be stand tall and retain their integrity, right? In that time is the true men of the Lord. All right. The true friends of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. Now, another example I would like to get, okay, this is the book of, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Colossians 4 and 14. This is the Apostle Paul speaking, right? It says, Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you, right? So Paul wrote that letter, and you can see that he had Luke, the physician, and Demas. He said he was with Demas, and they greeted him. Now, when you go to 2 Timothy 4 and 10, it says, for Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Cretans to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia, right? And you had individuals who were leaving and abandoned Paul. Why? Because of the persecution that he was receiving. Okay? Mm-mm. Okay. Bear with me a second. Man. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13. And I'm going to start at verse 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receiveth seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy received it. I'm going to read that in NLT. The seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. Verse 21. But since they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing the Most High's word, right? And that's going to happen a lot, man. All right, you got a lot of people calling themselves Israelites. You got a lot of people finding out. They coming to the fact that they're Israelites and watching the videos and, they studying, doing certain things. But in that day, you're going to have, a lot of individuals bail out, because of the lust of the flesh, because of the lust of the world. All right, and that's what Satan is going to trigger. Okay, just like the individual demons. All right, you got men that will be around, but once all hell breaks loose, they're gonna bail out. All right, it says what? For whosoever hath, I'm gonna keep going to NLT. To those who listen to my teaching. No. Verse 22. The seed that fell upon among the thorns represent those who hear the Most High's word, but are all too quickly the message is crowded out by the worries of this life and the lure of wealth, so no fruit is produced, right? All right, and that's what Esau, Edom, the devil, Satan, this beast system is going to present. It's going to be alluring, you know. It's going to trigger every man's wants and needs. Okay, so that anyone that's not rooted, anyone that doesn't have a real foundation in the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they're going to be uprooted. All right, they're not going to be partakers. All right, as the first fruits of the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, it says the seed that fell on good soil represents those who truly hear and understand the Most High's word and produce a harvest of 30, 60, or even 100 times as much as has been planted. Right? And that's why it's important to do the work. All right? That's why it's important not to be hearers only, but doers, as the Apostle James said, because doing the work, you gain a better foundation. All right. Just like when you think of individuals who are in professional sports, all right, those that have the experience in their profession or, in their game, all right, they go into situations extremely calm, all right, as if they've been there before, as if they have something to lean on because they've been exercised, all right. If you haven't been exercised in the truth, there's no way that you're going to last in the days to come. All right? That's the importance of the work. We know that there's a reward for doing the work that will be received after Yahweh Shai returns and delivers the elect. However, there's a reward now, all right, of a surety, of a foundation, okay? Revelation 3 and 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. All right? It's just that simple. Okay? It's just that simple. Let's look up that word, hold that fast. It says to have power, be powerful, to be chief, be master, to rule, to get possession of, to become master of, to obtain, to take hold of, take, seize. All right? And in order to take control, in order to have that power, you have to do what? You got to call upon the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? You got to lean upon those names. All right? And then leaning upon those names, you're going to do the work. You're going to do the things that are suitable in the eyes of the Lord. And that's when he's going to recognize that you've been doing the work, and he's going to see, it all boils down to what the Most High puts in someone's mind anyway. Okay? The Most High can pull the spirit from you, pull the strength from you, right? But he can also, to what? Strengthen your mind, strengthen your heart, right? And you see that with the example of Paul, when he was thrown into jail by the Pharisees, the Sadducees, right? And, Paul, you could tell he kind of got depressed on his mission. But then what happened? Yahweh Shai appeared, and he said, he comforted him. He said, don't worry, you're going to go before the princes, you're going to go before judges, all right? Why? Because Paul was already fervent, and Yahweh Shai saw that, right? So what did he do? He strengthened him even more. All right? Same thing even happened with Yahweh Shai. Okay, when Yahweh Shai was tempted of Satan 3 times, he denied Satan. Right? And then what happened? The scriptures tell you that what? That the angels ministered unto Yahweh Shai, meaning what? They were there to assist him and to strengthen him, strengthen his spirit so that he can forward the mission, so he can forward the ministry. All right? So there is access, all right, to the power, to the strength of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and doing the work and being faithful. You know? Let me see something here. This is James chapter 1. Chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. Right? And that's what's coming. All right? The true servants of the Lord are going to rejoice in that day, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work. Right? Because what? Through patience, you're made perfect. That ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. I'm going to read it NLT. It says, so let it grow, or when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing, man. All right? Because the world is going to be in a lot of need, a lot of want. Okay? Why? Because they're going to be barren. All right? They're going to be empty. Okay? They're not going to be sufficed with the word. See, the word of the Lord, that's why the scriptures tell you, it says what? It says my cup runneth over, right? Yahweh Shai told the woman at the well, right? He said, if you drink of this water, you will never thirst again. See, the world is about to get real thirsty. They're going to be real parched. All right? However, if you're already walking the walk and you're already, doing what's necessary in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, in that day, there's no need. You're not going to want anything. You're not going to be thirsty. You're not going to be famished. Okay? Everything that you need to overcome the different battles that's to come, right, is going to be supplied to you. Okay? So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he's going to be with his servants, man. Right? And I said there's a reward for serving the Lord. And that's going to be it's going to be known who the servants of the Lord are in these last days. Okay? By what? By those who stay faithful. And the scriptures even talk about even unto death. Scripture says what? Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right? So I'm going to close on that, man. Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash, and shalom to the elect out there.